Hey there. Welcome to the $11 billion World Cup. $11 billion. That is what it costs to put on the 2026 World Cup. Not Qatar's headline number. Not the visitors' spend. The actual bill. $11 billion. And the strange part is that nobody had to build a single new stadium. 104 matches. 16 host cities. 3 nations. 0 new stadiums. The first World Cup in modern history where every venue already existed. The $11 billion splits 5 ways. Stadium retrofits cost about $1.3 billion. Security across 16 cities, closer to $2 billion. Transport, moving teams, referees, and broadcast crews across a continent, another $1 billion. Broadcast and technology, around $700 million. And FIFA's own operations, including a record $896 million prize pool, comes in at $3.8 billion. The United States carries roughly 85% of the load, about $8 to $9 billion. Canada, with 2 host cities, spends roughly $750 million. Mexico, with 3, spends $300 to $400 million. Why so asymmetric? Because the United States has 11 host cities, the most expensive stadium retrofits, and the biggest federal security footprint. 6 stadiums account for almost the entire retrofit bill. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, $295 million. All of it from Jerry Jones. BC Place in Vancouver, $171 million Canadian. Taxpayer funded. Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, at least $106 million from a Banorte loan, possibly closer to $150, and still not ready as of May. Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, $200 million, completed before the tournament cycle. Lumen Field in Seattle, $19.4 million in safety upgrades. And MetLife Stadium, host of the final, a grass conversion and overlay package in the low tens of millions. 6 stadiums, about $1 billion. That is the entire build story. You have probably seen this comparison. Qatar spent $220 billion on the 2022 World Cup. The 2026 World Cup costs 11. Qatar wins. Except both numbers are true and the comparison is a lie. The 220 is Qatar's entire decade of nation building. The Doha Metro, the airport expansion, a brand new city called resale, $50 billion in hotels. The actual cost of running the World Cup in Qatar, the 8 stadiums, the operations, was closer to $8 to $10 billion. Apples to apples, Qatar and 2026 are nearly the same. FIFA's updated balance sheets show a record-shattering $13 billion in revenue for this cycle, driven by an unprecedented $3 billion ticketing windfall. Most of that cash drains out of host communities and lands directly on FIFA's Zurich balance sheet. Meanwhile, local taxpayers are left holding the bag. New Jersey Transit is absorbing $48 million in unfunded event day rail service for MetLife alone. On the 7th of May, 2 U.S. Congress members, Frank Pallone and Nellie Poe, sent Johnny Infantino a public letter demanding transparency on dynamic pricing, artificial scarcity, and stadium map deception. FIFA has not replied. Stack the modern World Cups by sport-only spend in 2026 dollars. Brazil, 2014, $15.4 billion. Russia, 2018, $14. Qatar, 2022, $10. The USA, Mexico, and Canada in 2026, $8 to $10. On construction, 2026 is the cheapest top-tier World Cup since South Africa 2010. The biggest ever claim only holds on revenue and ticket prices, which is exactly where the gouge happens. $32,970. That is the face value figure FIFA is now charging for a front-row Category 1 ticket to the final at MetLife, after quietly tripling prices on the 7th of May. Look at the secondary marketplace and the math gets dystopian. Seats listed for as much as $2.3 million, with no resale cap. Because FIFA schemes a 15% fee from both the buyer and the seller on its own platform. A single high-end resale can net the federation over $600,000 for doing nothing. It is no longer a sport. It is an asset class. Cheap to build. Expensive to run. Brutal to attend. Most lucrative in history. For sentences that describe the same tournament. The first World Cup across 3 nations is also the first where the cost of watching exceeds the cost of building. and the first where the carbon footprint of moving teams and fans across a continent erases every green tournament line in FIFA's brochure. That, more than any record, is what 2026 will be remembered for. Follow AI Football for more.